If I had been on vacation when Afghanistan began to collapse and it was clear we were going to have to airlift people out of the embassy in order to keep them safe, I would have left my vacation. I would have returned to the White House and monitored everything from there instead of going on a 2-week vacation. Now, I haven't been on a 2-week vacation in a long time. And you know what I do for a living? I write and talk about sports, and I host the biggest radio show in the country. If I had been on vacation this Monday, I would have called my vacation short and spent 3 hours talking to my audience, because when big stories happen, even if you are scheduled to be on vacation, sometimes you have to step up and actually stop your vacation and honor your audience by doing your job, okay? And so this is embarrassing on many levels. Joe Biden read off of a teleprompter for 20 minutes. He refused to take any questions, and he attempted to defend his decision to leave Afghanistan. The problem is, most people are not even arguing about whether or not it made sense to leave Afghanistan after 20 years. They just want to leave in a way that doesn't embarrass America. And all Joe Biden had to do was manage that, and he couldn't. In July, he said there was no way the Taliban was going to take over the entire country in short order. He said this was not going to be a situation like 1975 in Saigon, where you were going to see American embassy officials rescued by helicopter. He said that this was not a situation where there was going to be a retreat with dishonor. All of those things have happened. And it is pure chaos and bedlam in Kabul right now, where the airport has effectively been run over by civilians, and it's almost impossible for many planes to take off right now and save the people who are American citizens and get them out of Afghanistan. Things fell apart so quickly near the embassy that many people were burning American flags and important documents so that they wouldn't end up in the control of the Taliban. And look, this is an unmitigated disaster for Joe Biden. This is the most embarrassing American foreign policy disaster in most of your lives as you are watching this unfold on television, going all the way back to either Saigon or the Jimmy Carter situation with the Iran hostages back in the day. It's the most embarrassing American foreign policy failure that I can remember in my life. Certainly as an adult, but in my life as someone who can remember this going on. And so Biden didn't take any questions. He read straight off of a teleprompter a speech that he did not actually make. And then he immediately left the White House to go back on vacation. I don't know who's advising Joe Biden. I don't know who's advising Jen Psaki, his primary spokesperson, who also is on vacation right now. But when you have jobs like these, you don't really get normal vacations. You have an obligation when the biggest American foreign policy crisis of your presidency probably is underway, that you at a minimum stay in the White House. You don't leave on vacation. You don't wait 6 days to address this collapse that was imminent and reasonably easy to foretell. Again, I'm not claiming that this is some crazy scenario here that was impossible to foresee. On Fridays, Clay Travis and Buck Sexton show, we said we'll be back on Monday talking about the collapse of our embassy in Kabul and also of the Taliban taking over the entirety of Afghanistan. We said that on Friday. And then Biden administration officials go on vacation. They basically go into lockdown. They have a 20-minute speech written for him. He shows up and delivers it and then goes back on vacation. I don't even know how the most ardent Joe Biden fans on the planet are defending him right now. This is a massive embarrassment for him. And again, he didn't address the larger issues at play, which are most people don't have an issue with leaving Afghanistan, although you can argue about whether that was the right decision or not. The majority of Americans are in favor of leaving Afghanistan. But we should have at least been able to leave Afghanistan in an orderly and safe process instead of abandoning everything and having to airlift our employees and our embassy officials and having all of the airport falling into a mess and having the Taliban show up at our embassy and also show up at the Afghan palace. It's just an embarrassment across the board. And again, I want to emphasize, Biden didn't address the disastrous results here. And look, I think there are big questions going forward. Among them, what's going to happen in Afghanistan now? Are we going to have another fertile breeding ground for another al-Qaeda-like terrorist attack or not? Certainly, it's more likely today than it was before we departed that country, I would imagine. Who's going to bear the blame for this disaster? Are there generals? Are there officials who told Joe Biden, hey, you're not going to have a rush 5.5 weeks ago in July? He told us we weren't going to see any of the things that we actually saw. In fact, we can cut a clip here of about 1.5 minutes of Biden telling us everything that is immediately proven to be false in short order here. So what exactly is going on? We don't know. What is the impact going to be domestically? Okay? There's no way that the average American is watching this and thinking that Joe Biden is in any way in control. He looks like a less successful version of Jimmy Carter right now. I don't want that to happen. I don't want any American president to fail, but that's what we're doing in Afghanistan right now. That's what we're doing when it comes to the murder rate. That's what we're doing when it comes to the border. That's what we're doing when it comes to inflation. That's what we're doing when it comes to COVID. What is Joe Biden actually successful with right now? Instead of the golden touch, he's got the crap touch. Everything he touches turns to crap.